So the last video for the month is kind of a recap of what we've been talking about and something I've been seeing a lot lately. And um it's about one common theme that I tell most people that I coach. uh it's good to be critical, not judgmental, right? We're winning a lot more than we realize, and we do a lot of things. And I see this time and time again when I'm coaching agents or coaching people in general. We get so laser focused on what we're doing, we don't recognize some of the stuff that's going on. And I see a lot of people when I'm working with them and I ask for the wins, and they tell me, okay, I did this, I did that. I did this, I did that. I talked to 5 people, I did whatever. And then I start asking questions and I start asking more and I start asking more. And then suddenly they go, "Oh yeah, this conversation happened. And oh yeah, I did this. And oh yeah, I did that." Um and the interesting part is those discoveries aren't fake. And I'll be honest, I'm not judging those discoveries because they're natural, right? We all fall into this one big scenario where we get so locked into what we're doing, our goals, our objectives, our tasks, and we don't hit one. We are way easy to judge ourselves than we are to recognize the wins and the growth. One of the examples I always give people all the time is I don't do it right now, but back in the day when I would start planning for the summer and fall 5Ks, early spring, right around now, I would go try to run 5K, 3 miles. And instead of starting with 1 mile, I would just try to run 5 and I would be out for weeks because I was just so sore afterwards. Uh, but eventually I would start running more and running more and running more. And I had these small gains. That's all we need to do. We just need to recognize and honor that we have these small gains and and stop and stop being overly judgmental. Critical is good, right? We have to be able to evaluate and have an honest conversation with ourselves when we didn't hit our objectives, but don't sit there and bash ourselves for it. Just ask the why question. Ask what we're doing wrong. Because most people only count the big things, the final result, the big outcome, the visible success. But I'm going to tell you right now, growth usually happens well before that. The muscles, the business muscles we build happen minutes, moments, years before we actually hit that goal. We had to get there to do that. And a lot of those muscles that we're building, those improvements we make, sometimes are um, unseeable. They're unviewable by nature. For instance, if you've been following me at all, you're starting to see videos about communicating for improving, using AI better, making decisions faster, showing up more consistently, taking action despite certainty or uncertainty. Um, if you keep doing each one of those things and taking those steps I put forward for you earlier, those are all wins. They're all movement that gets you moving faster. These matter. But if we're only recognizing perfection, we're going to constantly feel like a failure. And that decision, that mindset really destroys momentum. It's hard to keep us moving forward when we are just trying to be perfect. There is no such thing as perfect. Um, Japanese way back when I first started colleges like that, they were big proponents of pushing what was known as a zero defect policy. And it's great, it's idealistic, it's something to strive for, but it's unattainable, right? There's always something that happens. You can't control every minute thing. But now there's new business policies that are in place that do what's called the Six Sigma. And what they're trying to do is each time remove the variables that they can remove to keep getting closer to perfection. There's never going to be perfect. It's never going to happen. But that's what we're trying to do, right? We're just trying to remove the variables that don't work and get us back to closer. And hopefully when you do this, you can be growing before you're winning publicly, right? And that's what I want us to recognize, that you're probably doing lots of things in place that will make you successful. And always understand that momentum starts quietly. I see it again, time and time again. And when we're talking to people, when we're working on this stuff, that we are, um, well, I will give it from myself. I'll give it from other people examples. I've watched people that I consider mentors and how they're great speakers and things like that. And they said one thing to me one point in time, like there was a guy that wanted to uh, come watch them do what they do and how they can become a great speaker. Well, they thought it was just getting on stage and talking. Well, what they didn't realize was all the things they did behind the scenes. And that's us, right? All of us in place when we're doing what we're doing, how we got to be where we are publicly took a lot of things on the background to get there privately. So just have grace is what I've been saying a lot lately. But this does not mean you have to lower your standards, fake your positivity, avoid accountability. By all means, it means almost the exact opposite. I want you to accurately measure that growth. I want you to learn from those misses. Be okay with failing. Failing forward is a great thing. And then be honest about those, recognizing those progress, or let someone help you recognize those progress. Because again, sometimes we are just way too close. This is uh, this is something that I believe in a lot. There's a difference between evaluating yourself honestly and attacking yourself constantly. Uh, Again, as I said earlier, it's good to be critical, not judgmental. And I really want us to make sure when we're working on our stuff and we're working on our business that we take those things. That's what I love so much about the 12-week year. When we work on the 12-week year, it's never about bashing when we don't hit our milestone, but it is about evaluating and asking the tough questions about why. How can we do it better? What do we need to change? And the best thing about the 12-week year is when we're working on this, these are quicker changes. So we get to adapt quicker and make quicker modifications to be more on point and stay laser focused. There's a lot of great people that talk about, doubling down efforts and doing that stuff. And there is definitely some value there. It's not personally what I believe, but there is some value there. But I do believe trying to shorten those spans of times where we have to stay laser focused does help us stay focused. And then if we can, again, start the movement to create momentum, we will be successful. Not trying to get momentum before we have movement. That just doesn't work that way. So we want to make sure we're there. So I do want to encourage you as we end this. I want to encourage you to review that progress, have some sort of system in place. Try to recognize those quiet wins. Let other people help you acknowledge those wins. Keep perspective. Make sure we stay in a world where it's okay if we don't hit. It's not okay if we don't hit consistently, but it's okay if we don't hit. But no matter what, either if we don't hit or don't hit consistently, we still got to keep moving. We still got to keep moving more and more forward and move better and quicker and adapt better. Because people who recognize progress tend to sustain momentum longer. It's the carrot or the stick thing. I'm a big carrot believer where everyone, I think they chase the carrot better, where they want that reward, they want that recognition. And if we can do that, it's really good. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you do, like, subscribe, hit the bell button. In the comments, tell me a win, right? Win. Tell me what it is. I want to see what you guys are doing. Let me know what's happening. And we'll see you next time, next month.